for your question about my opinion in a familiar topic between what is better, if getting news on TV or on computer, or reading in a printer newspapers. My answer is that I prefer watch news on my TV or reading in my cell phone or computer, because newspaper is not friendly with the environment. For this reason, I never like to buy newspapers. And finally, when I'm using my rest time, I can choose what news can I read.
In this example, we can help but notice how the candidate spends 23 valuable seconds, which represents half of the allotted time, rephrasing the question, to finally state his preferences for online news. Make sure you understand what is expected from you and how the questions are scored. Your speaking will be evaluated according to the following criteria: delivery, language use, and topic development. Keep in mind that a long paraphrase may affect your overall score in this part of the speaking section because you may not have enough time to fully answer the question. Let's see which other areas of your grading criteria will be most affected by paraphrasing the question. In first place, delivery is not affected, since we can notice that the candidate's speech is clear and fluid. His pronunciation is good, pace is natural, and in general, his intonation is above average. Language use, though, is a different story. The candidate used 22 seconds to answer the question, and this made his grammar and vocabulary mistakes more noticeable. For instance, he mentioned "I prefer watch" instead of "I prefer to watch." "I never like to buy" when it should be "I never buy." He also mentioned rest time instead of leisure time. And finally, he said "I can choose what news can I read" when "I can choose what news I can read" sounds better.
Although newspapers contain some information that's limited to local interest and I like to turn to those pages, for the most part, I agree that getting news on TV and on my computer is better than reading it in a print newspaper. The problem with printed news is that it takes so long to produce it, that the stories could have changed, or more important, news could have happened minutes after the newspaper is delivered. So I scan the local stories in the paper when I get home from work. Then I watch the international news on TV at night for the most current information, and the following morning I click on one of the websites that offer the most recent updates of the latest stories. That way I'm taking advantage of the best aspects of all the news media and I stay current locally and internationally.
First, the candidate mentions the particular situations in which she reads newspapers, to later affirm that in general she prefers to watch the news on TV and to read it on her computer. What is more, then she goes on to mention problems related to printed news. Finally, she summarizes her main points by restating the idea that she reads newspapers only for local news, while the rest of the time she watches it on TV and reads it on the internet. Final tip. You will probably be asked to talk about a familiar topic at the beginning of a speaking section. If you think about some of these topics, you will know how to answer when you hear the questions. A few seconds to prepare does not give you enough time to organize your thoughts unless you have the advantage of prior preparation. Good luck in your Toefl iBT test.